have realizations from devotees who missed it from last week. Avinash who was given his. So others who are there, if you can please, if you heard the lectures, the realizations from the last week's class of devotees, then please share your points from what others have spoken. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, can I start with 11:46 now, and then they can share when they join?
Oh, your wife is not joined still? She's not here?
Sorry?
Mataji is not there still?
Yeah, she's still running around, so she'll settle down and she can share.
Okay, then let's hear from Sopan Prabhu. I like it. What he has done is he has sent us. He's not able to listen to the class today, participate in the class today. So he has given his realizations in advance, which is very nice. And so that's what he did. So let us hear his realization there. It's very nice. It's a good trend. I like it very much. Okay, Hare Krishna. Here we go.
Krishna, dear devotees, I'm giving my realization on Bhagavad chapter 11, verse 46, as I won't be able to attend this Wednesday's class as traveling with the family. Yes, my realization from Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, verse 46. Thank you, Amrish Prabhuji. Thank you, Purnapathi Deshi Mataji. Thank you, Krishna Samarpan Das Krishna Prabhu, for training and guiding us and allowing us to give our realization in this program. So, on Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, verse 46, the universal form. Kiritanam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ichhami Tam Drashtum Aham Tathe Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasrabhahu Bhav Vishwamurti. Translation by Srila Ki Jai. O Universal Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flowers in your hands. I long to see you in that form. So my realization from this particular purport verse is that Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that these main forms are like Ram, Narasimha, Narayan. These are all, apart from that, there are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. And he wants to see his Narayan form. Srila Prabhupada says that he's not different from any plenary expansions. And he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 11, confirms that Srila Prabhupada says in purport that there are many controversies between impersonalities and the personalists that the Lord's appearance as a human being. But if we read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from the authorities, we understand that we can see that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is not an ordinary man. Although he appeared on his earth as an ordinary human being, but in the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, it's explained by when the sages headed by Saunakya inquired about the activities of the Krishna. So they said that the Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with Balram, played like a human being. And so he also performed many superhuman acts. The Lord's appearance as a man bewilders the foolish. They think that the human being, they think that no human being could perform the wonderful acts what like Lord Krishna has performed while he was in Vrindavan. But when Krishna appeared before his father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, he appeared with 4 hands. But after praying from the parents, then he himself, came, he turned into ordinary child. He became just like an ordinary child, and um, and so so here Arjuna prayed to see Krishna's form of 4 hands. After revealing this form, the Krishna, when Arjuna again requested that that Arjuna, he wanted to see his original human-like form, Narayana. So these different features of the Supreme Lords are certainly not those of what we are thinking as an ordinary human. It's not an ordinary human being. Those who deride Krishna and who are infected with the Mayavadi's philosophies, so their thinking is different. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, verse 21, Jiva Goswami commenting on here that Krishna, in his plenary expansion as Paramatma, is situated in the moving and he moving and the non-moving entities as the super soul. So Lord is everywhere. So any neophyte devotees who simply think that if they give attention to the Archmurti, the form of the Supreme Lord in the temple, they go to the temple and they pray deities, but and simultaneously, if they think that if they are not respecting to the other living entities, so that is, Srila Prabhupada says, it's useless worshipping the form of the Lord in that temple. There is no point in going to temple and just only thinking of deities, but not respecting other living entities. Also in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 26, again, Srila Prabhupada explains that and confirms there that Srila Prabhupada says that what is the meaning of attaining the transcendental position? He explained that the material world is actually acting under the spell of the modes of material nature. So one should not be disturbed by the activities of the modes of nature. So instead of that, they should instead of putting his consciousness into such activities, he may transfer his consciousness to Krishna activities. So we should always turn into the Krishna consciousness activity. So that is actually Bhakti Yoga. So this includes not only Krishna, but when we think about the Krishna, but Srila Prabhupada says that not only Krishna, but his all plenary expansions, such as Ram, Narayan, or any other innumerable expansions, one should engage in the service of all these forms as well. So because he's not different than Krishna. So one should also note that all these forms of Krishna is fully transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge and eternal. So if one engage himself in the service of the Krishna or his plenary expansion with determination, firm determination, then one can easily attain self-realization. Also in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, verse 18, Srila Prabhupada explained that all Srila Prabhupada says that the acharyas, almost all acharyas have confirmed that there is no chance of not accepting Lord Krishna as the original personality of Godhead. Even Bhishmadeva says that the Lord Krishna is the first Narayan. And this is also confirmed by Brahmaji in the Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, verse 14, that Krishna is the first Narayan. And in the spiritual world, in Vaikuntha, there are unlimited numbers of Narayanas who, they are all same personality of Godhead, and are considered to be the plenary expansion of the original personality of the Godhead. So the first form of the Lord Krishna is he expanded himself as the form of Baldev, and the Baldev expands in so many other forms such as Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudev, Narayan, Purusha, Ram, and Narasimha. So all these expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and Sri Krishna is the original source of all plenary expansion. Real world, we Srila Prabhupada give very nice example about we love someone, but that love is we get something, we need to get something in return, then we love that. But Prabhupada says that is not actually pure love. Pure love is very different. Pure love, as it is, Lord Chaitanya had explained that in his mood of Radharani unto Krishna. This love of Radharani is that you said that you either embrace me or trample me down under your feet, neglect me, or make me broken-hearted, not being present at any time throughout my life after life. It does not matter. But still, I love you unconditionally. It's also mentioned in Shistastaka that Aslishya va padaratam pinastu mam adarshanan marmataham karotu va yatha tatha va vidhatu lapato mat pranasu sayo napara. The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that I know no one but the Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or make me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. So we have to focus on Krishna consciousness, and that not only the focus, but we need to do the continuity in our devotional service, and we should attach, but not attachment. That's what material attachment is different, because that attachment is actually the lust. It's not the love. But here one should really attach to what in Namata. I mean, it has been we have been trained like that. Now we should attach to Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada's teaching, their mood, and then we should in that mood we should continue in association of the like-minded devotees. Also in one of the chapters of Nectar of Devotion, in Srila Prabhupada, he mentioned about the love of Krishna. So one who desires to love Krishna in particular relationship it's really intensified. And Srila Prabhupada said that this is the actually real pure love to Godhead. The word love can be actually applied only in relationship with the personality of Godhead. That in the material world, love is not applicable at all. So what goes under the name of the love, that is all material world, nothing, but that is nothing but it's just lust. So great authorities like Bhishma have explained that the love of Godhead means completely giving up all so-called love for any other person. According to Bhishma Dev, love means reposing one's affection completely upon one person and withdrawing all affinities, affection for any other person. So this pure love can be only transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead under the two conditions, out of ecstasy, and out of causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So instead of what my realization is that I had to have strong faith in my spiritual journey, and when we trust Krishna and follow his teaching through Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, I can open ourselves to the greater understanding of the spiritual growth. So this is my realization. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just continue now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhu, Her Grace Purnya Pagna Devi Dasi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarva Prabhu for organizing these classes and giving us opportunity. The verse we're studying is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse number 46. Kiritinam Gadinam Kiritanam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ikshami Tvam Drishtum Aham Tathaiva Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte Kiritanam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ikshami Tvam Drishtumaham Tathaiva Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte. Sorry, Bhava, I'm doing mistakes. Translation, purport, and synology by Srila Bhagavad ki jai. Kiritinam with helmet, Gadinam with club, Chakra Hastam, disc in hand, Ichhami, I wish, Tvam, you, Drashtum, you see, to see, Aham, I, Tatha Eva, in that position, Tena Eva, by that, Rupena, with form, Chaturbhujena, four-handed, Sahasrabaho, O thousand-handed one, Bhava, just become, Vishwamurte, O universal form. With helmet, with club, disc in hand, I wish you to see I in that position, by that, with form, four-handed, O thousand-handed one, just become O universal form. Translation. O universal Lord, I wish to see you in your four-handed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms. And the main forms are those like Ram, Narsimha, Narayan, etc. There are innumerable forms. But Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayan, O spiritual form, a spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna at once becomes free from all contamination of the material world. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. So thank you, Sopan Prabhu, for sharing your nice relations and giving us insight into Krishna's forms and expansions, and what Prabhupada has committed in various scriptures and books about Krishna's forms. So my realization in this week, I'm struggling with purification, my thought process, my bhakti, my own devotional activities. And that's what I was, when I read scripture, that's what I'm looking for answer. So in this also Prabhupada writes, one who knows Krishna at once becomes free from all contamination of the material world. So the challenge is that one who knows Krishna. If we know Krishna, we are free from contamination of material world. And the reason for not being free or contaminated or not focused is only this, that we don't know Krishna. Knowing Krishna means knowing Krishna's devotee instructions, any scripture, Krishna is everywhere. So that's what we need to focus. That's what I need to understand so that we can make progress. So in this regard, when I feel that Arjuna is more relaxed now, he's now is very friendly. He's telling Krishna what he wants to see. He's more relaxed, and Krishna is very lovingly showing his, as we'll study more, that Krishna is very lovingly showing his various forms also. And now this verse was what I understand, Arjuna is not fearful. So his consciousness is also changing. And similarly, when we start with following those regulative principles, awe and reverence, and slowly as we progress in the bhakti, these relations come, which I'm struggling to have. And so this is where I wanted to understand that how this process is actually followed, or I think it depends on individual, that how they understand Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or a pure devotee instructions and how they implement it. What is the purity level? So in this regard, I would like to refer a verse from Bhagavatam, where Vidur Maharaj is actually traveling. He's trying to, we know about Vidur Maharaj. He's Yamraj himself. He's a pure devotee. He's part of Ved Vyas. So he's already pure, but he has given up everything, and he's now looking for Krishna. Is going to many places and is meeting sages in those places. So in the same, I would like to refer one verse where he actually meets Maitreya Muni and they have a discussion. But in this discussion, actually, Suta Goswami answers the question to Saunak Rishi that what happened to their conversation. And I just picked one verse where it talks about that how this pastimes of Krishna purifies devotees. And that's what devotees do to purify at whatever level. That one of the form is chanting. That's what in the Kali Yuga is mentioned, that we chant Krishna's name. So this verse is like this. Tayo samyo samvadato sutra pravritta amala kathaha apo ganga ivagagnir hareha padam bhujashrayah. This is from Canto 3, Chapter 20, verse number 5. Translation. Saunak inquired about the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. There must have been many generations of the spotless pastimes of the Lord. The hearing of such narrations is exactly like bathing in the water of Ma Ganga, for it can free one from all sinful reactions. So there must have been many narrations of the spotless pastimes of the Lord. So Krishna's pastimes are spotless and they are purifying. And Suta Goswami is giving example also that how it can be done. And there's a lot of big purports have been written by Prabhupada before and after this about Vidur Maharaj traveling to those places and who should go and who should not go and what we should have. And then our disciplic succession is also, which Prabhupada mentioned about what they say, that how we should do it and what we should not do it. So very nice purport. But here we'll focus on this purification by knowing the pastimes of Krishna, the forms of Krishna. Like one Arjuna is actually talking, wanting to see. The water of the Ma Ganga is purified because it pours forth from the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is as good as the water of Ganga, Ma Ganga, because it's spoken from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. So it's very purifying to study Bhagavad Gita. So it is with any topic on the pastime of the Lord or the characteristics of his transcendental activities. The Lord is absolute and there is no difference between his words, his perspiration, or his pastimes. And this is what we're studying. We're studying Krishna's pastimes and Arjuna's conversation, and that's how we can purify ourselves. The water of Ma Ganga, the narrations of his pastimes, and the words spoken by him are all on the absolute platform. And thus taking shelter of any one of them is equally good. So Krishna's pastimes or anything what Prabhupada is writing here is actually is all absolute platform. This is all correct. This is all absolute truth. There's no if and but. And thus taking shelter of any of them is equally good. So it's up to us how we do it and what we do it. But it must be on the absolute platform. Otherwise, it will not work. The process will not work. And that's why we struggle, or that's why I struggle. Then Prabhupada writes, Srila Rupa Goswami has enunciated that anything in relationship with Krishna is on the translate platform. Yeah, we further emphasize the same point that anything enunciated that in relationship with Krishna is on the transcendental platform. If we can dovetail all our activity in relationship with Krishna, then we do not stand on the material platform, but always on the spiritual platform. And that's our endeavor. That's what we are trying to achieve. That's what I want to do, which I'm not able to do. And I try to read scriptures, I try to follow rules, but somehow it is still the consciousness is not purifying. So this is what I understood from this verse where Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show him his Narayan form. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much, Sopan Prabhu and Avinash Prabhu, for your very nice realizations. So today's verse is Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, verse 46. Kiritinam Gandinam Chakrahastam Ichhami Tvam Drashtum Aham Tathaiva Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Universal Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. So, as is very nicely explained by Avinash Prabhu and Saban Prabhu, there were a lot of nice points that were covered. For me particularly, the last line of the purport of Srila Prabhupada was something that I was meditating on. One who knows Krishna at once becomes free from all contamination of the material world. And this is the theme that I was realizing that this is a central theme to Srila Prabhupada's purports in this entire chapter. On one hand, also disproving the Mayavadi concepts and philosophy. At the same time, very expertly, understanding and decoding this pastime of the universal form with Arjuna. We know, and we have discussed, that the devotees are not very concerned with seeing the Vishwarupa, so it's not as important to them, this form, this universal form. And we know that, in this pastime of Arjuna is wanting to substantiate Lord Krishna's statements, because at this point, Lord Krishna is presenting himself as the Supreme. But here, with the universal form, and now with Arjuna asking to see the Lord in his Narayan form, the Lord is actually physically showing this to Arjuna. And here, as we see here, that Srila Prabhupada has also mentioned, and as is in the pastime itself, that the Lord is present in numerous forms, not just the universal form. He is unlimited forms. And as I think Soban Prabhu also alluded to in his realization, that the Mayavadis who don't accept the Supreme Lord, who consider the Supreme Lord as a normal person, as a two-handed normal person, not supreme. They are wrong. They're foolish. But here we know, and if we know that Lord Krishna is present in all his forms and in moving and non-moving entities as Paramatma in the heart, as well as his innumerable hundreds and thousands of forms. That is how we become free from contamination of the material world. And this is what Srila Prabhupada has been saying constantly in his purports, especially in this chapter. And Lord Krishna gave Arjuna the power to see the universal form. And we all know that Vyasadeva was also given this vision, who in turn gave it to Sanjaya. And Sanjaya revealed this universal form as well through his narration. So which is very, very extraordinary and very, very hard to grapple with. And yet Lord Krishna is there in his two-handed form talking to Arjuna, and also showing his four-handed form of Narayan. So through Arjuna, who is now understood Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who is actually the example of this last line, that who knows Krishna. Arjuna now has knows Krishna in his entirety as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his unlimited forms. At once, then that contamination is gone. So I thought that this point itself was very, very important for me to meditate on, because I felt that this particular point was central to the entire chapter and this entire pastime of the universal form, and actually knowing the Lord. Because Srila Prabhupada, as I said, Srila Prabhupada mentioned so many times that the devotee is not very much concerned with knowing the universal form, or in fact not concerned with the universal form, as he is with the personal form of the Lord, which is a very, very, very amazing point, an amazing concept in itself. So that's my realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Prabhupada Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhuji for giving us this platform to share our realizations and training us. And thank you all the wonderful devotees for sharing your realizations. So last week I couldn't share my realization. First I will share realization for that verse. That was Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse number 45. Adrishtapurvam rishitosmi drishtva bhayena cha pravyathitam manomi tadev me darshayadeva rupam prasid devesh jagannivasa. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. As we are reading this chapter, which is universal form of Krishna, and when Arjuna sees Krishna's universal form, then with different types of feelings come to his mind. And now when he realizes that how opulent Krishna is, and then everything is so wonderful about him, so he gets he's very conscious of it that sometimes he has offended Krishna, as when because he was his friend, and sometimes he might have insulted him as well. So he's very conscious of that, and then he starts begging forgiveness from him. And we can see that in this verse that he gets the mixed feeling here, that he is very gladdened to see the opulence of Krishna's magnanimity here in his universal form. And then also he's a little bit disturbed with fear that he might have done he might have committed some offenses towards him. So it happens that when two friends are talking to each other, they might sometimes become very informal. But seeing Krishna's this opulent universal form, he realizes that what is the other side of Krishna's opulence. He is not only the friend, but he's also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Arjuna knew this, but just for showing it to us, he is doing this here. He's a devotee and he doesn't want to worship this fearful form. And as I heard Prabhuji's explanation last week, Amrish Prabhuji, as he has explained, that universal form is a very ghastly form, and anything in this material world is actually ghastly. And material world is all changeable, and even the relationships with very, very strong relationships also change, even between the devotees as well, because this is material world is changeable and everything deteriorates. So a devotee who doesn't want to be on material plane, he wants to be on spiritual plane, so that the binding between a devotee and the Lord doesn't change. The relationship should always be there, the loving relationship. For that is the core thing for which all the devotees are actually surrendering to Krishna. That is the essence, the love essence that is we are striving to get. So the relationship of Krishna and Arjuna is eternal, and he doesn't want to change it at all. Yeah, and although he is very, very glad to see that how opulent Krishna's universal form is. Now, in the next verse, verse number 11.46, Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam ichhami tvam drashtumaham tathaiva tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabahu bhava vishwamurte. Now Arjuna is requesting, praying to Krishna that I want to see your four-handed form, which is more beautiful, and it's not the ghastly material form, which is the spiritual form. And that four-handed Narayan form is the one he wants to see in this. He is requesting for that, and Krishna, as a very merciful Lord and friend, is going to fulfill his desire, because that's how God always fulfills a devotee's desire, when the devotee is fully surrendered to him. So here he says that, O universal Lord, translation by Srila Prabhupada, O universal Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. And that is Arjuna's desire, to see him in his four-armed form in which he is holding club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in his hands. So this is the Narayan form, is the, as we have heard from other devotees, that it is the spiritual form, and it's in all the planets. Narayan is there. Different forms of Narayan holding all these four things: club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower. If they are holding in different hands, that means their names change. I don't remember all the details at the moment because I have read it, but haven't made the notes at the moment. But that is how it is. And then Krishna, as it is said that Krishna, because Krishna is the fountainhead of all the expansions, and because everything is coming from him, so he is the Supreme Lord, and this is the fact which Arjuna is trying to tell all of us, that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and all the expansions, all the forms are coming from him, whether it be Rama, Narsimha, Narayan, all these innumerable forms are coming from him. So he is the Supreme Lord, and if a devotee, as Krishna Samarpana, Krishna Prabhu has already mentioned that the last line, I'm also focusing on that. One who knows Krishna at once becomes free from all contamination of the material world. So this is the key, how to come out of this material world's contamination, that we focus only on Krishna's form, on Krishna, and worship him wholeheartedly, fully surrender to him, instead of going here and there and wasting time. And then that is the way, that is the only way to be fully Krishna conscious and attaining the love of God. So that is my realization from these verses. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for all the wonderful realizations. So what I have heard and understood from all the speakers, sharing your realizations. Because if we do not hear, this is a format that we are following, where there's one verse and different devotees speak from their own personal realizations. So if we are not attentive to what others are saying, and if we are interested in what we are saying only, then we don't learn anything new. This is the best I can do. And I'm hoping that all of you, including me, takes advantage of this and expand our knowledge and our bhakti. Otherwise, if we just speak our realization and don't listen to others attentively, then we tend to sort of remain in echo chamber of our own talks, our own thoughts, our own realizations, and we're done. Our focus changes, our interest changes. So, what Supan Prabhu had mentioned in his, basically Supan Prabhu has referred to Srila Prabhupada's lecture. He read Prabhupada's lecture with all the different references Prabhupada has given. And what I understood is that the main highlighting point which Srila Prabhupada had said is love for Krishna, love for God. And there is one Bhishma Dev's example Srila Prabhupada gives in the in the class, in the lecture, where Srila Vishmadev says that love for Krishna should be exclusive and cannot be dispersed with anything else. So you can't say I love my family, I love my food, and I love Krishna also. It has to be Krishna alone. And everything should be revolving around it. This is what I understood. Thank you. Avinash Prabhu's realization, the points which I picked up was that Krishna and his incarnations, pastime, are all on the absolute platform. And any pastime or all the pastime can purify us. We have to be focused and we have to be attentive and we have to learn from these pastimes. Otherwise, it will be very hard. Bhakti doesn't develop. And no matter how much hard we try, it may still be barren to some extent. Krishna Prabhu, upon his realization, he spoke on is what I could understand. And what I picked up from all of you, you may be speaking on different subjects also. The Lord Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna. But devotees are not interested mainly on the universal form, because universal form is also material. But Krishna is divine form too. It's Krishna's divine form as well. So his internal potency shows this. Not everybody knows this. So to see this, he requires his internal potency to explain. And which will be coming in the next chapter, next verse. And all incarnations are supreme. All his incarnations are supreme. Saraswati Mataji also mentioned about the Krishna fulfills devotees' desires. The Arjuna desired to see his four-handed form of Narayan, which is existing in the spiritual world only. And Krishna revealed that form to him and through him to all of us. And she also shared the same point as Krishna did, Prabhu did, and had about one who knows Krishna, he doesn't need to know anything else because all forms are included in this. And they have become free from all material contamination. That's what Prabhupada insists, and that's what stood for all of you. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. All of you have covered all these points very nicely. And as we discussed, I was continuing with my communication from last week's that Arjuna is used to seeing, all the devotees of Krishna are used to seeing Krishna in his happy form, in his peaceful form. They are not very inclined to see the ghastly forms of Krishna. Although this form, we all live in this form, we experience the ghastliness. But the overpowering Maya, material world, material energy, keeps us afloat. Otherwise, how can we survive in this material world? The body that we have is also product of this Maya, material world. And this material world, as I was discussing from last week, is Maya. It doesn't touch Krishna or his forms in any way. They're far away, the distance. Just by glancing on the Prakriti, we are impregnated. And we get our forms according to our past desires. And to be surviving in the material world, we have to have this forgetfulness. But we can't survive. You tell me, all the girls would say that I would to the parents before marriage, when they were small, that I'm never going to leave you. They say, I'm never going to change the family. I'm going to remain here on. I'll never leave you. I'm sure most of the girls would say this to their parents. But it changes. The moment they find a husband, a lover, or whoever, is gone. The same way for a child, for a son, before he's in touch with any girl, or marriage, or love, he likes his parents very much. Of course, he loves his parents. Afterwards, also, girls also do the same thing. Don't misunderstand. But when they carry the photograph in their wallet, they may carry the parents also. That's right. But mainly it is their children with the wife, or the wife and the children, or husband and children, or the whole family. This is how we forget. We forget the pain of birth for a woman. That's why she gets pregnant again. Real world enjoyment and suffering goes hand in hand. We tend to forget. So devotees of Krishna, this is the reason why they are not interested in material world. You tend to forget things. It keeps changing, and it has to. The nature of the material world. Season change, you change. Yeah. So, as all of you have mentioned in your different realizations, I resonate with them, all of them. And there is a reason why Krishna appears in this material world and incarnations so many different forms. And we can be attracted to some of its forms. And we can go back to spiritual world. Nrsimhadev, Lord Ram. Some are interested in Lord Nrsimhadev. Some are interested in Lord Ram. Some for Krishna. Some is Vishnu. Some is Vamandev. Some is Varahadev, etc., etc. So if you see, the Krishna keeps coming and showing this. But because we are not interested, we have no information about this. That is the reason why Krishna also sends his devotees. He creates a sampradaya. And then, depending upon how opportunities we get and how best we use the opportunity for our own sake, we can hear about this, read about them in the Srimad Bhagavad and Bhagavad Gita. And to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to understand Srimad Bhagavad Gita. As I was mentioning, what is relevance, importance of these two. Because unless you understand the Bhagavad Gita thoroughly, we will not be able to understand the Srimad Bhagavatam, because in each pastime there are instructions. And each instructions are as per the mood of that particular incarnation. Each of the incarnations got a particular mood. But they teach the same thing. If you don't understand the difference between material and spiritual world, you may think that, say for example, in the pastime of Vamandev, you may think Bali Maharaj was unjustly defeated. In fact, he gave away everything. At the end, he gave his head. But when the Lord, after that also, were not happy, in the sense that how can you say your head is yours? Which is devotee understood, Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear Lord, you're 100% right. How can his head be his? Otherwise, if you do not study scriptures thoroughly, step by step, without missing, no gaps in them, we'll think, what is wrong? Bali Maharaj gave away his whole material world. He was a king of the whole material world, not just earth. All the planets, heavenly, including heavenly planets. He gave away that also to Krishna, to Vamandev. Although his guru, Shukracharya, objected to this, he still gave, thinking that if he is God, if Lord Vamandev is God and he has come to me, then how can I refuse him? His guru said, don't give. He still gave. And then when everything was taken, the third step, in 2 steps, everything is gone. Third step is still remaining. Okay, give it, I give my head. So we'll be feeling unnecessarily very compassionate and ecstatic about this and say, what is wrong with it, Bali Maharaj. But this makes Bali Maharaj glorious. This is the point to be understood. It makes Bali Maharaj glorious and it makes Bali Maharaj's descendants glorious. There's another pastime. There's another knowledge to be gained about the descendants of Bali Maharaj. So this is the reason why it is very important to understand, get knowledge in disciplic succession and right knowledge, distorted knowledge. So we are very, very fortunate to come into Srila Prabhupada. And in Guru Maharaj's special mood of understanding Srila Prabhupada is our safety net. Otherwise, we can start speculating in our own way, but Prabhupada trying to say. We should not be doing this. And this is what I understood from today's point. That Arjuna, although he had the universal form in front of him, it's very rarely seen. Nobody sees it. He wanted to see his spiritual form, Father Narayan, which is in the spiritual world, which is what is come to. And that form is what makes Arjuna happy. And Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. He satisfies his devotees' desires. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Does anyone has to say anything? Any questions or realizations? Anything other, any other points? Please feel free to share now. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you very much. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Shri Gurudev ki jai. Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Sai Gaurchandra Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.